Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm just starting out, so we'll see what happens when we get rolling here. I'm in the process of restoring a 1971 Plymouth Cuda, putting quarter panels, inner wheel wells, trunk pan. Basically it's a full resto. Got to do frame rails on it. What we'll do is I'll take you for a little tour of the progress of where I'm at. My wife suggested that I start this YouTube channel and share with everybody what I'm doing, maybe help somebody out along the way as to how to remove the old panels, fit the new ones, stuff like that. So we'll go for a little tour around the car and we'll show you where we're at. So here's my 71 Plymouth Cuda. It is originally a Plum Crazy Purple 383 4-speed pistol grip. As you can see, I've got everything ripped apart on this. It's definitely a work in progress. The car has not seen pavement since '93, so hopefully we can get some things going here and make it a running, driving, enjoyable car. As you can see, it's quite a disarray of parts, mix, and so we'll just be tinkering along here. And as you can see, there's a 303 sitting in the background. It did have all new floors put into it, so not much left for inside the cabin. But this is the big job that we're working on right now. So just in the process of cutting out the old quarter panels. As you can see, there's the old factory seam right there. This was lead filled. If I can get my hands on some lead, I'll do the lead again. But if not, then I'll use a metal body filler. And that way we can put a little bit of metal back into it. In here, trunk pan, I've just placed the trunk pan in. I'm not welding it just as of yet so that I make sure that it's fit on both sides after I put the inner wheel wells in. This side, I've done the inner wheel wells, quarter panels on. I have to do the trunk extension yet. But as you can see, it's fitting pretty good. I like the fit that's on here. These were AMD stamped quarters. I believe my inner wheel wells were as well. And of course some grinding to do on some of the spot welds. I do have an electric spot welder, but unfortunately because of how deep this is, I don't have the arms that are long enough to fit it. So we'll just have to grind down these welds and make it all fit nice and proper. That way there's minimal body work afterwards. So in here I don't have the inner fender connected to the back seat body panel yet. So we'll that way it gives me a little more adjustment for when I go. Frame rails, I'll be doing the frame rails at some point as well. They're pretty much shot. But we'll just keep on with the process here. And so right now what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut out the old and get ready for the new. Well, I'm terribly sorry. Like I said, I'm new to this YouTube thing, so when I was trying to do the Bluetooth connect remote control, I had it backwards. And so what I did was not record when I wanted to record. So what you guys missed was actually me cutting out some of the bulk. I'll show you now what I did cut out, and hopefully we can show you some more of the bulk that I got to cut out before I get into cutting the old material off of the good material that's still going to stay. So here in my previous video, this part here was still in, so I've cut that out. Like I said, it's just the big bulk that I got to cut out. So we'll carry on and we'll get some more of this done. What I'm going to work on right now is actually I want to kind of cut this part out here in and around the corner, cut this out, and that way I can prep it so that we can keep this nice and clean, because we're going to weld the new inner fender to this. Likewise up in the top, there's two seams in the back side that we have to grind down nice and carefully, so we preserve this part but get rid of this. Okay, so I'll set up again and see if we can't record this properly. Thanks. So as you can see, that's jumped out of spot there. I'm going to clamp that into place, take a measurement. That way I know exactly where that's got to land afterwards. I should be able to follow this part and just follow that contour, but if this moves, I need to make sure this is going to be in this proper spot. So I'm going to take my measurement off the same spot on the other side. So off the driver's side, the same top portion, and we're going to go to the top flange right in here. And it is measuring 47 3/4. I'm going to jot that down in my notebook so that I know exactly where I got to place that when I put the inner fender back in. We don't want to weld that in the wrong spot and end up with the car looking funky if you're following me in behind, if you can keep up. So I've changed my grinder disc to a hard disc. This makes it a little bit easier to see the color change in the material, and you'll be able to grind a little bit faster. It'll take more material out. So we'll just continue on. We'll take this piece off of here. I've taken the measurement, I wrote it down in my notebook. That way I know exactly when we put the inner fender back in that this is in its right place. I think what's pushing this out is actually the spring for the trunk. So here we are, guys. I got that piece ground off of there. There's a few pieces in here. Like there's a piece of spot weld right here that I got to grind down some more. A little bit more here. And then we're into that main structural piece that needs to be ground down so we can weld the inner fender to. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to carry on. We'll get rid of some of this stuff. All of this has to go. It's going to be replaced. This is the factory undercoating that's on here. It is a stinky thing to grind through. So as we go, you're going to see smoke, you're going to see sparks, but this is going to be all cleaned out. We'll end up with the original structure and we'll weld to this. We'll put main pieces back in here. So we'll carry on with that, and you can see the removal of inner fenders and quarter panel. So here we go, guys. I did a little bit of a fast forward here as for what we've been doing. We got some of the inner fender out. You can see where the spot welds were. There is a tool that you can buy that grinds out the spot welds. I find it better just to do it with the grinder, work your way along, look at the color change, and go from there. We've got quite a bit that we've got to do yet. We've got to grind out these old pieces on here. Once we get those all ground out, yeah, anything with that old undercoat on there, that's got to come out. That's the old inner fenders. We want to change all that inner fender to something new. We've got the new panels for it. So as we go, I'm going to carry on and get this cleaned out. And hopefully next time that you tune in, and we can get the inner fenders mounted, get them all aligned. Still got to grind that piece there, get it all cleaned up. There's the new trunk pan. Because I was doing quarter panels on it, I went with one piece trunk pan. It fits better. I don't have to weld up a seam in there. I do have the measurements for the for the tank mounts. So once I have the trunk pan welded in, I can get the tank mounts welded in and get the tank mounted. But we're a long ways away from there. The task at hand right now is make sure that we get the inner fenders in, get quarter panel mounted, and go from there. As you can see, it's gotten quite smoky in here. Something's smoldering over in the corner there. We'll have to find out what's going on there. Hopefully nothing's on fire. But yeah, we'll carry on from here, and please subscribe. These videos will be few and far between as we go. It's as the feeling strikes me when I work on this car. The faster the better. I'd love to see it on the road, but time will tell. Thank you for tuning in. Bye. Hey guys, so been busy today. This is the next day. Been out here playing around out in the garage. Got a bunch of the bulk cut out of this and down to the seams. So I'll show you what we've got right now as far as where I need to test fit, where things are cleaned up, and we'll go from there. So in here you can see along the back corner here, I've taken away all that old material. This is right down to the back valance. And that way we have nice something solid to weld to. Likewise along up in here, along the trunk pan, that's the sill. Then we got the back window valance. Up in here. So we've cleaned this up. That's the seam that underlaps on the quarter panel. So we've cleaned that up just a little bit. I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. We've done it on the other side, and it actually fits really well. So down into here, got the door jamb all cleaned up. Again, got rid of the old material. And down in here, I got a little bit of repair work. We'll throw a patch in there. We'll make sure that it's nice and neat, everything's sturdy. Last thing I want to do is drop a rear end when we're pulling out the hole. So everything's nice and cleaned up in here. There's the new trunk pan. Again, I still have to clean that all up. And I brought it out of storage. There's our AMD Plymouth Barracuda 7071. And for those of you that are familiar with Mopar, this is a Cuda, not a Barracuda. Okay, on the next episode, I'll show you the fit and finish. Not really finish because there's too much to do, but I'll show you the fit of the inner wheel wells. They're sitting over here. So both of the inner wheel wells are sitting there. Up on the front of the car, we've got the drop pan. Again, I'm going to wait to put the drop pan in until we have the inner fenders and quarter panels in. So once we fit this in, then we can see what we're dealing with. Thanks.